Hey, it's Paul again from the Vitamin House in Manalapan, New Jersey, with more CBD. Going over some questions we've got about CBD dosaging. I know it's still a little confusing. I try and make it as simple for you as possible. Just want to remember, when you're buying your CBD, whatever company you choose, the milligrams on the front of the bottle is what's contained in the entire package. So for instance, sometimes they're labeled like this, 250 milligrams per bottle. Sometimes they are not. They'll just say 1,000 milligrams or whatever dosing on there. They won't explain that that's in the whole bottle. So you have to watch for that, because when you break it down per drop, at 250 milligrams, for example, it's less than half of a milligram to a drop. It's actually only 0.4 milligrams to a drop. So we'll call it half a milligram to make the math, round it up and make the math simple for me. So if you do 10 drops, you're only getting 5 milligrams. If you do 20 drops, you're only getting 10 milligrams. Same thing as you go up in numbers, 500 milligram bottle, which is a very common dose that people buy. It's probably one of the best-selling dosages that people get started with. It's a good place to kind of get acquainted with how CBD is going to work for you at that dosing, 500 milligrams. I think 250 to start off with is kind of low. At 500, though, you're getting approximately 1 milligram to a single drop. Again, not a dropper full. One single drop is a little bit less than a milligram. It's like 0.8 milligrams. So we'll call it again for 1 milligram for easy rounding it up for math purposes. So if you do 10 drops, you're only getting 10 milligrams. 20 drops, 20 milligrams. It's actually a little bit less. So 20 drops is only about a little bit less than half of a dropper full in most cases, as long as it's a normal 1 ounce bottle. So remember that when you're trying to figure out your dosages. So for instance, if you're taking it for stress or anxiety, or to kind of take the edge off a little bit, 20 drops of this giving you 20 milligrams might be a good place to start, but that might not be enough if you're taking it for just, say, something like arthritis or something more of an inflammatory condition. You might need more, and also more than once a day. I'm still of the opinion that taking it for stress, anxiety as needed, but for conditions like arthritis and inflammatory conditions, taking it every day is definitely going to give you better results. You have what they call cannabinoid receptor sites in your body that have to be activated, basically turned on and absorb the active ingredient, so you can get basically better absorption by taking it every day, and even twice a day if you need to. So again, some of the doses, like here's a 2,000 milligram bottle. A 2,000 milligram bottle, this contains approximately 3.2 milligrams per drop. So 20 drops will give you around 67 milligrams. That's a pretty good dose for most people. That's what I usually consider like an effective dose, but it may be different for you. You might need more, you might need less. You just have to kind of figure it out for yourself. Starting off, again, work off small. If you want to start off with something like 20 drops and then increase by a few drops every time, just understand that if a doctor or somebody tells you to go out and only take like a few drops, or start off with 5 drops, you have to ask them for a starting point, because 5 drops of a 250 milligram bottle is going to give you a much different dose than 5 drops of a 2,000 milligram bottle. So if a doctor or a nutritionist or somebody recommends, a chiropractor or even a friend recommends you start off with 5 drops or 10 drops, ask them what milligram bottle they want you to have. What milligrams do they want you to start off with? A 250, a 500, 1,000, because that's very, very important, because you could wind up taking an entirely different dose depending on which milligrams you start with. We have them anywhere from 250 milligrams up to 2,500 milligrams, and each drop is going to give you a much different dose. Figure anywhere from, like this bottle, less than a half of a milligram per drop, up to this bottle, which gives you over 4 milligrams to a drop. So they're going to be significantly different yields when you start your doses. So that's important to figure out. Another thing to watch is on the front of the bottle, especially if you're getting capsules. 25 milligrams, 50 milligrams. you would automatically think that these are two different dosages. 25 milligrams, again, 50 milligrams. But when you look at the side, this is 25 milligrams in one soft gel. This one is 50 milligrams, but the serving size is 2. So in essence, even though they say two different things on the front of the bottle, they are exactly the same strength. So you have to watch that. Always read the side of the label. Excuse me, that happens a lot with gummies. These are Calci gummies, which I consider to be probably the best gummies on the market. They break it down exactly. They have the CBD as well as the CBG, which is the one that's better for inflammation. And they tell you right on the front of the package, 450 milligrams, 750 milligrams, 15 milligrams per gummy, 25 milligrams per gummy. They both have 30 servings, and they give you, the packaging is great. They tell you exactly what's in there per gummy. You'll find other gummies will tell you things like this: 250 milligrams per container, 750 milligrams per container, 2,000 milligrams per container. They're all the same gummies in there. And the count may vary. You may find that the count varies from bottle to bottle. So the only way that you can really truly figure out how many milligrams these are is to open up and count the bottle, because the labeling is a little off and they do not tell you exactly how many servings are in there. That's just the way they package it. Some of them do that. So we've figured it out to be about 20 milligrams. We've counted them up a couple times. These are great, actually, these kangaroo gummies. The taste is awesome, but you have to figure out, because of the way they label it, you have to figure out, you have to count them and divide the total dose of the package by how many gummies are in there to really get the dose, to see what they really are, to see how many milligrams you're taking. Great for stress, taking the edge off, even before you go to bed, like an hour before you go to bed. We also have some gummies that we call penguins. Penguins have melatonin and CBD in them, which are awesome to take before you go to bed. Another thing too, there are different types of CBD oil. For instance, there's isolate and full spectrum. Don't be sold on any particular type of CBD oil just because somebody said so, or an article said so, or you saw something written online saying so. Try them. Try a full spectrum, and one time try an isolate, and see which one works better than you. I used to be of the opinion that full spectrum worked better until I tried this one here. This is Creating Better Days. This is an isolate, but it's also a nano CBD, so they make the particle smaller so it gets absorbed into the receptor site better. So I've actually found this one to work better than any of them, and I used to be a fan of the full spectrum. Again, there's benefits, pros and cons to using either, but the best way to do it is to try each one yourself. One day try a bottle of isolate, next time try a bottle of full spectrum, see which one works better for you for whatever reason you're taking it for. Also, some people do, before they commit to spending however much it costs, because it can range in price. Like we've got them here from $35 a bottle, up to $160 a bottle. It's a financial commitment, so some people don't want to make that right away. So they'll try. They have individual servings. So what they call just single servings, so you can take a dose just to see what it's like. But again, watch the packaging. It can be a little misleading, because even like on here it says 1,000 milligrams, 1,000 milligram formula. There's only 33 milligrams in this container. Again, same thing here. It says 2,250 milligrams on here, full strength formula. There's actually 75 milligrams in this syringe. Same thing goes, they have like individual servings here, 125 milligrams. There are 5 packs in here to 5 single servings of 25 milligrams each. So you have to read the pack. All I'm saying is you have to read the packaging carefully, and and to determine what is actually in there per serving. Because I get a lot of people that will come and they'll buy different types of CBD, and they'll think one brand worked considerably better than another for them, than another one did. And then it turns out that they're using two entirely different strengths and they had no idea because they didn't pay attention to the number on the front of the bottle. Another thing too is don't be, let's see, if you see these products at a significantly lesser price, like online, maybe on eBay or a website, and understand that you can only make these things so cheap before you have to skip someplace in terms of quality control. So whether a batch is tested every batch or whether a batch of raw material is tested randomly, that will make a big difference in terms of pricing. The more testing and quality control that goes into a product, obviously the more it's going to cost. The cheaper it is, eventually, depending on how much difference in price, they got to start skipping steps somewhere along the line. So if you see a bottle of just say 2,000 milligrams online for $75 and you walk into a store and it's $150 or $160, there's always going to be a reason why. There's always going to be a reason why. It's not that one company's charging more for it than others, although some do. It usually comes down to a quality control difference. And that's the main thing. So you want to get a trusted brand. Also, in terms of where you buy these things from, there's people that are of the opinion that you have to go to a CBD specialty shop to get the best brands or the best service or whatever. There is nothing in a CBD specialty shop or a CBD only store that you can't get any other place. You just want to make sure that the person that's helping you with it takes the time, whoever's selling it to you, wherever you're buying it from, takes the time to go over these things that I just went over with you, because most places don't, and some places don't even know. So you really have to take time, because there's a big difference in terms of dosing, as we just laid out, and and you're spending your money. This stuff's expensive. It's not cheap. So you want to make sure you're getting the best dosage for your dollar, and also good quality too. So you want to make sure that you're getting the right dose, because the differences will vary greatly. So I guess that's about it. Again, if you have any questions further about dosing, either come in and see us, or shoot us a message or comment on this video. Also, you can find us on Instagram at the Vitamin House Online. Send us a message over there. Don't forget to like the page while you're there. Appreciate it. And again, if you have any questions, give us a call at 732-414-2777. We're the Vitamin House in Manalapan, New Jersey, and we're here for you 7 days a week. Thanks again for watching. Yep, I see everybody's on. Sorry I couldn't see who was watching before. Jess, I see you. Lori, how you doing? Laurel, how's it going? Thanks everybody for tuning in. Hi, Bailey. Questions informing Lori. And you ask them why they would do that. I'm not sure what you're talking about. No, actually, there should not be, even on some of the brands that about THC, if you're testing positive for drug tests. That's a great question. Even brands that say they have THC in them, it is underneath, it will always list, it should list underneath 0 milligrams. So you would not test positive. Some brands claim no THC at all, or they'll claim THC free. Like Creating Better Days is one of those brands. They will claim it to be THC free. But no, any brand, even brands that have the allotted amount, by law, you will not test positive for THC. So that's a good question. Thanks, because I forgot to go over that. I appreciate that. Sorry, I couldn't see the questions while I was talking. So that's it again. Again, if anybody has any other questions, sorry again, I didn't see the questions as they were popping up because I couldn't see the screen. Anna's here helping me out. Say hi, Anna.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
And thanks again for tuning in. Appreciate it.